First came the Magic Kingdom, then the incredible Epcot Center. Now comes the new Disney MGM Studios theme park.
This is News Today with WDW News Today. I'm Tom Corliss of WDWNT.com. Please like this video, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell to make sure you never miss the latest from the Disney theme parks all around the world. Here now the news for May 8th, 2024. Disney released their 2024 Q2 earnings report in the last few days and cited revenue over $8.3 billion for experiences, which includes the Disney parks, a 10% increase over Q2 2023. CEO Bob Iger cited the experiences department as a primary driver for overall growth in the company. The report notes the following. The increase in operating income at our domestic parks and experiences was due to higher results at Walt Disney World Resort and Disney Cruise Line, partially offset by lower results at Disneyland Resort. During Tuesday morning's earnings call, the Walt Disney Company CEO Bob Iger noted that theme park attendance is finally leveling out post-COVID-19 closures and restrictions. CFO Hugh Johnston predicts lower demand for Disney theme parks through the rest of this fiscal year. Of course, immediately after the COVID lockdowns, there was a large desire for travel that is now waning. But he and Iger emphasized that there are still plenty of bookings indicating healthy growth. We still certainly feel good about the opportunities for continued strong growth, Iger said. I feel like the parks business is still doing very, very well. We've got the best in the business in terms of product. People still have a strong desire to basically go on vacation and come to see us. We've known this for a while. I think it's been rumored and rumbled, not just around Disney, Universal, throughout the industry, that there is an expected slight downturn as people are easing back into their regular lives, that strong desire for travel is starting to decrease and maybe go back to where it was previously. Of course, Disney's telling you that they still expect growth. Obviously, Universal, with all their plans, they still expect growth as well. So there will be some sort of growth, but before that, there's definitely going to be some sort of dip, and we expect that dip to be visible this summer especially. There is an expected attendance downturn for sure over the next few months, so keep that in mind. We were recently invited to a media preview of the VIP experience of Cirque du Soleil's Drawn to Life at Disney Springs. The experience includes a backstage tour, a meet and greet, premium show seating, and collectible souvenirs. We met Jeff Lovari, the VIP guest experiences and special events producer, and Justin Sullivan, the artistic director. Lovari said that all Cirque du Soleil shows have some kind of VIP experience. It was important for them to bring the experience to Drawn to Life and to include a behind-the-scenes look that not all the VIP experiences have. The experience will be available at the second shows on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It begins with a personalized greeting and check-in with a page-to-stage host. Guests then get to select concessions and a souvenir popcorn bucket. The popcorn bucket is exclusive to this location, and there will also be special plastic cups. Guests then get to enjoy Drawn to Life from premium reserved seating. And after the performance, VIP guests meet back up with their host, and there's a photo op with a Drawn to Life mural and swing. Guests get to meet some of the show's talent for photos and a Q&A session. Different performers will rotate with each tour, appearing in full costume and makeup. This wall features signatures by all the cast and crew who have worked on Drawn to Life since it debuted in 2021. The gold autographs are the original cast and crew. The silver are those who joined later. There are also headshots of the full staff. Guests can then explore the stage, including backstage and under the stage. Because of the time that the media preview took place, we got to see some training. This won't take place during all regular tours. The backstage tour includes a visit to the wardrobe department. And as a memento, guests receive a Drawn to Life gift bag and a discount off purchases at the Cirque du Soleil Theater store. We received a pin featuring a colorful unicycle and the Drawn to Life logo. The Page to Stage Signature Experience will launch on May 24th. Tickets are available now at $285 for adults, $225 for children, including taxes and fees. The world premiere food court at Disney's All-Star Movies Resort will undergo a refurbishment this July. The food court will undergo that refurbishment from July 1st through July 31st, but will still be open. Guests can use the My Disney Experience app to mobile order food and drinks during the month. Signs featuring QR codes that lead to the app will be in the resort lobby and near the food court. The mobile order menu will offer limited selections during the refurbishment, so it sounds like you won't be able to order at a counter at that time. It's official, the Disneyland Forward project will go into effect 30 days from Tuesday, May 7th, 2024, following its final approval from the Anaheim City Council. The motion to approve Disneyland Forward in its final procedural vote passed with 7 votes in favor and 0 votes opposed. The project was initially approved in its first vote by the Anaheim City Council on April 17th. Now that it has been approved a second time, the plan will go into effect again 30 days from now on June 7th, or from when it was approved. Disneyland Forward was first proposed 3 years ago, and Disneyland held public workshops in October of 2023, January and February of 2024 as well. The Anaheim Planning Commission first approved the project on March 11th after hours of public comment. The vote then moved over to the Anaheim City Council following a community informational open house on April 10th. With Disneyland Forward, Disney is committed to spending at least $1.9 billion on Disneyland Resort over the next 10 years, with up to $2.5 billion. Disney has also committed $30 million to go towards affordable housing, with $15 million in the first year and $15 million in 5 years, $10 million for sewer improvements along Catella Avenue, and $8 million for Anaheim City Parks within the first year. The plan does not grant Disney any new additional land to be developed. Disney will also pay $40 million to obtain Magic Way, which spans 1,150 feet in length from Disneyland Drive to Walnut Street, and 2 entry drives into Disney parking at Hotel Way and Clementine Street. This approval allows Disney to choose where it will build new lands, resort hotels, retail locations, and more within its existing Disneyland Resort footprint. No one's talking about this, but it also would facilitate a third park, but we keep showing this art, which is really just the proposal, but sure, this could mean meaningful large expansions of DCA and Disneyland, but it also could and probably does mean third park in Anaheim. Of course, one experience already teased is the new Avatar experience. The first piece of concept art was revealed during Disney's 2024 annual meeting of shareholders. Other potential IPs that Disney has suggested include Tangled, Frozen, Zootopia, Black Panther, Toy Story, Peter Pan, Coco, and Tron. Whatever plans Disney has in store for expanding the Disneyland Resort, they could likely be shared during D23, the Ultimate Disney fan event in August. That could also be too soon. We'll have to wait and see. CEO Bob Iger commented on the vote on Tuesday morning's earnings call ahead of the bell. We are focused on turbocharging growth with a number of long-term strategic investments. That includes our Disneyland Forward initiative, the first step in our expansion plans at Disneyland Resort, which received unanimous preliminary approval by the Anaheim City Council. We're incredibly excited for the many potential new stories our guests could experience at Walt's original theme park, including the much anticipated opportunity to bring Avatar to Disneyland. So again, we don't really know what this includes. I wouldn't, as I said 3 years ago when we first saw that proposal art, I wouldn't subscribe to that being the finished product. I wouldn't tend to believe they're going to reproduce Fantasy Springs because we're not sure they actually can. Usually the Oriental Land Company has some sort of exclusivity deal on attractions they specifically order, so long as they're not things that are pre-existing like Soarin' or things like that. So I would be very surprised if what you see in California is exactly replicates what you're seeing in Japan. I know that's been focused on a lot. I believe the word on the street is that the Anaheim City Council was brought by Disney to Fantasy Springs to see it, and I think that was somewhat misleading, but nonetheless, it's at least an indication of what Disney could do. It's certainly what we hope Disney would do, something of that quality, not necessarily the same exact thing. But this is exciting. I think it's wonderful that we will get to see sooner rather than later what the future holds for Disneyland Resort. This program is brought to you by our official travel agent sponsor, Be Our Guest Vacations. Your dream vacation begins with Be Our Guest and their concierge team of expert vacation planners. Head on over to beourguestvacations.com/WDWNT and their team will design your next magical vacation, from the Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resorts to the Disney Cruise Line to Adventures by Disney and more. They're also able to book unforgettable VIP tours where you and your group can experience the ultimate park day. And the best part is their concierge services are 100% free, so book today. Following the supermajority vote to unionize, Disneyland Resort Parade and character performers have scheduled a union election for next week, May 15th through the 18th, 2024. The election was announced by the National Labor Relations Board. Voting will take place on-site at Disneyland on Wednesday, May 15th, Thursday, May 16th, and Saturday, May 18th. Each day of the vote, eligible cast members will cast their vote at 3 designated voting locations. Cast members who are attached to either Disneyland Resort's characters or parades departments will be assigned to a specific voting location based on their first scheduled shift of the week. Final election results are expected during the evening of May 18th. Media is not allowed to go to the voting locations, but union activists will be available for interviews during the election period. Details on how the election results will be announced will be shared at a later date. The group of unionized performers, calling themselves Magic United, encompasses 1,700 Disneyland cast members who bring Disney's characters to life. Most of the workforce at Disneyland Resort is already unionized, except for those working in characters and parade departments. However, their counterparts at Walt Disney World have been unionized for decades. Fantasmic will finally return to Disneyland Park on May 24th after a fire last spring destroyed the Maleficent Dragon. A Fantasmic dining package will return as well, and reservations are now open. The dining package is $89 for adults, $35 for children. It includes reserved seating for viewing of Fantasmic and a multi-course meal at the Blue Bayou restaurant. Disney stated on Instagram that additional dining packages will be announced. But here are those package details. You can enjoy a 5-course lunch or dinner and receive a voucher admitting you to a separate reserved viewing location for your choice of one of the 2 Fantasmic performances that evening. For lunch and dinner, you can choose from a variety of delectable offerings, including surf and turf, Oscar-style filet mignon, blackened ribeye and bourbon shrimp gumbo, heirloom tomato and watermelon salad, strawberry and pistachio salad, and for dessert, enjoy a Fantasmic-inspired chocolate decadence tart. Guests will receive a souvenir item for non-alcoholic beverages, and a wine pairing option is available for an additional charge. There's also a $10 upcharge for the Oscar-style filet mignon or the blackened ribeye and bourbon shrimp. Lunch starts at 11 a.m., dinner at 4 p.m. Disney Cruise Line shared a first look at the gifts that Castaway Club members will receive in their staterooms during the inaugural season of the Disney Treasure. The ship will set sail on its maiden voyage this December. We, of course, will be there to bring it all to you. Any guest who sails with Disney Cruise Line, of course, automatically becomes a Castaway Club member. Members receive special benefits like access to early bookings and gifts on their future sailings. Last year, Disney Cruise Line updated Castaway Club rules to require guests sail at least once every 5 years to maintain their club status. And the tiers, as a reminder, are silver is after 1 sailing, gold after 5, platinum after 10, and pearl after 25. That was introduced with the launch of the Wish. Silver Castaway Club members who sail on the Treasure during that inaugural season will receive this backpack, or as they call it, a sea bag, featuring the ship in the gold in lettering. Gold members will receive as well a blue wet dry bag with the backpack. Platinum members will receive the backpack, the wet dry bag, and a towel featuring similar artwork as the backpack. The towel doubles as a game and includes pucks featuring the Disney Treasure wordmark and Mickey heads. And Pearl members receive all of the above, all that we just mentioned, plus a travel accessory bag featuring images of Captain, Minnie, and Mickey. Decorating Fanatics has shared 2 new leaked Haunted Mansion decorations that will be available later this year at Spirit Halloween. Previously, Decorating Fanatics has shared a Miss Kitty tombstone, a Haunted Mansion column with plaque, the Beheaded Knight animatronic, and Master Gracie headstone. With this new update, Haunted Mansion fans could also grab a Serpent sign and a tabletop projection light. The 12-inch by 13.5-inch sign is comprised of 6 serpents extending out from a filigree-covered center. These serpents are modeled after the door handles found in the halls of the Haunted Mansion. A Haunted Mansion HM logo is included in a circle at the center with a bat above the letters and the image of a lantern in the middle. No price was shared for the piece, and it's meant for indoor use only. Also revealed was this tabletop projection light, themed to one of the Haunted Mansion gargoyles. Nestled inside a circular container with the gargoyle at the front, a ghostly orb features the logo for the Haunted Mansion, the hitchhiking ghost, and more iconography from the attraction. The tabletop projection light can light up in multiple colors, including green, purple, and blue. It requires 3 AA batteries, which are included, and it's 7.5 inches tall, 8.5 inches wide. No price was shared for this item either. It's likely that official announcements for these items, as well as pricing and release dates, will be shared later this summer. Real quick, I want to give a shout out. This is not a sponsor ad. This is instead someone we use to help with our Stage 89 event that we just want to let people know about. And that is Themes Come True. Officially licensed to create invitations and details for special events celebrated at the Disney parks and resorts and on Disney property. They've partnered for over 25 years with Disney's fairy tale weddings, and they specialize in making themes come true. Let Shelley and her themestresses, as she calls them, make your next event even more magical. Go to themescometrue.com. Again, they are officially recognized by Disney. They can help with any event on Disney property. So they were wonderful. All the signs in our museum, gift baskets with Gertie that were given to our Imagineer attendees, all sorts of great stuff Shelley helped us with and her team. And we can't recommend them enough. So please check them out. All right, folks. So you all know I've been going back and forth to my apartment in Japan to bring you content eventually from Fantasy Springs at Tokyo DisneySea. Well, OLC and Disney have decided to not really wait until the grand opening just less than 30 days from now. And so we're about to give you kind of a full tour of Fantasy Springs. Some disclaimers up front. Spoiler warning. I tried my best to not look at these photos when putting this together because I'd like to see the land in person. It's the whole reason I've made all these life changes to go see this in person. So I'd like for it to not be spoiled, but I'm going to read you what our writers put together. I will tell you, we're not going to get super in depth on the attractions because I know that's the thing most of you probably don't want spoiled. For those attractions, we're going to show you a handful of images, but there are dozens and dozens and dozens more. If you don't care about spoilers, I highly recommend going to WDWNT.com, looking at these individual posts, and at your own leisure, you can paw through all this amazing photography. I will tell you from the few things I saw and what I expected all along. This is a project that's going to revolutionize the industry and set a new standard in theme and quality, for sure. So if you want to see more, it's on our website, but I'm going to give you a lot of it right here, right now. But you've been given your spoiler warning, so here we go. Well, first of all, they shared an updated map of DisneySea, which includes Fantasy Springs, as well as, again, we're going to get that photo tour of the 3 areas that make up the port, being Peter Pan's Neverland, Frozen Kingdom, and Rapunzel's Forest. The map shows how Fantasy Springs stretches out from the back of Tokyo DisneySea. This is the wildest park map I've ever seen. And we said this when the project was announced. I was like, DisneySea is already a behemoth. It's already, I think, the park that requires the most walking, certainly the most changes in elevation. It's the hardest park to walk, I would say. But man, just looking at this map, it really puts that in perspective. This is the weirdest layout of any park I've ever been to. It's also the best park in the world, but it's pretty weird. Nonetheless, the entrance is between the Lost River Delta and the Arabian coast, and the DisneySea Fantasy Springs Hotel is located at the back of Fantasy Springs. It does have its own entrance, so if you're entering from that hotel, you'll be right in Fantasy Springs, but obviously you have a reversed perspective. It's going to take you quite a while to get to the front of the park, or maybe even longer to get to American waterfront. I think that's actually the furthest point from you in that land. Guests will enter through tunnels in a magical spring. And the rockwork around the tunnels features giant sculptures of the featured characters, including Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, Anna, Elsa, Olaf, and Rapunzel. At night, the springs are illuminated with magical blue and red lights. The literal spring operates as a portal into the world of Fantasy Springs. After entering, guests can veer left into Peter Pan's Neverland or take a right into Rapunzel's Forest. Neverland is framed by large mountains with permanent clouds floating around the peaks. The Native American village is visible among the mountains. The land's main attraction is Peter Pan's Neverland Adventure. A lagoon houses Captain Hook's ship, the Jolly Roger, and Skull Rock. The Jolly Roger is a full-size red pirate ship, and guests can explore the ship entering via a bridge leading from the shore. Captain Hook's desk with his map and ledger are on deck, and there are various props like cannonballs and barrels on the ship. A guest can ring the bell and spin the ship's wheel. There'll be a wait to do either of those things, I assure you. The wheel is decorated with golden hook motifs, and there are paths around the lagoon with drawings by the Lost Boys. Some of the island residents have been practicing their bow and arrow work with dummies of Mr. Smee and Tick-Tock Croc, and Skull Rock has waterfalls around it. The beach, meanwhile, is littered with supplies, and a small campsite has a campfire and a totem pole inspired by the crocodile, Mr. Smee, and Captain Hook. A sign points guests to Pixie Hollow, where they can ride Fairy Tinkerbell's busy buggies. The cast members at this attraction will wear fairy-like outfits with the backs of the vests outfitted with their own pair of wings. Guests will enter through a forested archway with a sign for the attraction written in twigs on a rock overhead. Once in the queue, guests will find themselves fairy-sized in Pixie Hollow. On Tinkerbell's busy buggies, a fairy Tinkerbell's busy buggies, it's a mouthful. Guests will shrink down to the size of a fairy and board a busy buggy to help Tinkerbell deliver packages throughout the changing seasons of Pixie Hollow. When it opens this summer, Fantasy Springs will offer the Peter Pan Big Ben popcorn bucket, as you all know, and roast beef popcorn. Those will be at the Popcorn Wagon. The wagon is in Peter Pan's Neverland. It resembles a pirate ship made of mismatched planks of wood covered by doodles from the Lost Boys. Lookout Cookout, meanwhile, we'll see the cast members are wearing costumes that look like they've been patched together from various fabrics and natural materials. They have leaf green aprons and striped pants, and they wear vests over long sleeve shirts. Lookout Cookout is meant to look like the Lost Boys' secret headquarters. The entrance features a crow's nest on top of a large mast. The Lookout Cookout sign looks hand-painted with a plunger arrow sticking out of a yellow target. The seating area is covered by an upside-down boat. The Lookout Cookout menu includes snack boxes of seaweed fritters, banana chips, shrimp chips, and different flavored chicken tenders. The dessert is the Lookout Brownie, and the special drink is the Pixie Dust Soda. The Lost Boys animal-inspired onesies will hang to dry, quote-unquote, on the ceiling in the ordering area. There are also drawings of the Lost Boys on the walls. These include references to other Disney properties like Pirates of the Caribbean and Winnie the Pooh. Much of the furniture and decorations appear to be reclaimed from the pirate ships, and there are treasure chests full of condiments. Seashells are stuck to the walls. Some tables are painted, like the one featuring the Neverland Mountains and Stars, and there are small drawings on the chairs and benches. A map of Neverland is pinned to one wall. And at Peter Pan's Neverland Adventure, cast members will wear costumes inspired by Neverland, featuring pirate-like wristbands, straw hats, and colorful vests. The queue travels from outside to inside, taking guests through a series of caves full of detritus and shipwreck parts before leading to the Lost Boys hideout. This 3D attraction will have guests join Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, and the Lost Kids as they rescue John from Captain Hook and his band of pirates. So we finally, in this photography, get to see what the ride system is. It kind of looks like Spider-Man from Universal. So I'm jokingly calling this The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Pan is what I'm going to call this now. But it still looks really neat. Then back out to the land, lights illuminate the area at night, and there are lanterns hanging inside of the eyes on Skull Rock. More lanterns light up the Jolly Roger, reflecting off the water. Near the back of the land is Frozen Kingdom, featuring Anna and Elsa's Frozen Journey. Cast members of the attraction will wear Arendellian-inspired garb with green pants and skirts and purple pattern vests. Winter coats will also be an option on the colder days. The attraction's exterior looks like the entrance to the Kingdom of Arendelle. Elsa's Ice Palace can be seen on the North Mountain in the distance. The queue takes guests from the exterior of the Arendelle Castle through its many halls, and signs of Anna and Elsa are sprinkled throughout the castle. At the load area, guests board the boats and head out on their journey. This family boat ride retells the story of Frozen, starting with Grandpappy sharing the stories of Anna and Elsa's childhood all the way to Let It Go and the sisters' final confrontation against Hans of the Southern Isles. Guests can also dine inside the Arendelle Castle. The palace is illuminated with icy blue and white lights at night. Outside Arendelle's castle are the docks and the village. There are benches and trees lining the sidewalks, and a sleigh sits outside a shaded space. Oaken's OK Foods is inspired by Wandering Oaken's trading post. Oaken has ostensibly opened the kiosk as a branch of his retail shop. It has large wooden columns descending from a mossy slanted roof. And Oaken is pictured on the sign. Behind the counter are various carvings and kitchen supplies. One might see at Wandering Oaken's trading post too. Oaken's OK Foods will serve Oaken's Yoo-hoo bread, a variation on the cardamom roll with Scandinavian-style spiced meat and lingonberry jam. Royal Banquet of Arendelle cast members wear purple vests over light blue shirts and green pants and skirts with white aprons. The vests feature Nordic detailing. The restaurant is inside of the Arendelle Castle. Guests will walk through the castle's courtyard with 2 fountains and lampposts decorated with the Arendelle flag. The castle has triangular gables and pointed spires. It features wooden columns and dark brown roof shingles. The castle and decorations feature the golden crocus, the symbol of Arendelle and the namesake for Hong Kong Disneyland's frozen restaurant, the Golden Crocus Inn. The Royal Banquet of Arendelle menu includes meat pies, fish salad, and Olaf's marshmallow cocoa mousse. The interior of the restaurant is decorated with banners and paintings we've seen at various frozen destinations at the Disney parks, including Hong Kong, and as well the Arendelle restaurant on Disney Cruise Line. There are tapestries of young Elsa and Anna framing this doorway. This hallway has red wallpaper and white wainscoting. Guests will order in a room featuring brown and green paneling, and guests will dine in various rooms of the castle. This room features square tables that can be rearranged or could be arranged close to each other for a banquet feel. The chairs have red upholstery matching the wallpaper, and there are blue benches along the walls. A round table is painted like a sunflower. Guests can also dine in the ballroom where Elsa's magic powers were first revealed. They enter through large doors featuring golden decorative elements. The Arendelle throne is at the top of the long room. Another room featured in the films is the portrait gallery, which Anna dances through for the first time in forever. The walls are packed with paintings, including those inspired by real historical pieces. There are also portraits of frozen characters like Olaf. This cozy room has green wallpaper and a large stone fireplace. There's also covered outdoor seating. Rapunzel's forest is full of trees and shrubbery, and there are wooden lampposts along the stone-lined paths. Rapunzel's tower is covered in vines and overlooks the land, and Rapunzel herself can be seen looking out her window. Here, guests can ride Rapunzel's Lantern Festival and enjoy the Snuggly Duckling. Rapunzel again peeks out from that window at the start of the attraction as boats go by. On the first ever Tangled-themed ride, guests will travel to where the floating lanterns gleam with Rapunzel's Lantern Festival. Located in the forest, this gondola journey retells the story of Tangled, from Rapunzel's tower to seeing the sky come alive with floating lanterns during I See the Light. The Snuggly Duckling cast members wear clothing inspired by the restaurant's thugs. They have leather belts and brown aprons with tall boots. A giant tree is growing over and into the Snuggly Ducklings building. It features cutesy duck imagery, just like in Tangled, and the weather vane on top is sculpted to look like Shorty, the small old thug who dresses like Cupid. The restaurant features sloped rooftops with moss. The Snuggly Duckling menu features burgers, fries, the caramel duckling muffin, and lemon and strawberry sweets ever after dessert in a frying pan. In the entryway, there are also giant cartoonish weapons in barrels and crates under a banner asking guests to place your weapons here. The restaurant has wooden columns and detailing. Tree branches and roots poke through the walls, ceiling, and the floor. And there are sketches and wanted posters on the walls. Big Nose's romantic poetry is pinned to the wall as well, and there's a stage with Hook Hand's piano. A note on the piano reads, "Hooks and hands off my piano." And a poster advertises Hook Hand's I've Got a Dream World tour. There are booths built into the walls, as well as tables and chairs in the center of the room, and a puppet theater with Pascal and Maximus marionettes is in the rafters. There are also hand puppets inspired by Flynn and Rapunzel in a display case. A Pinocchio marionette is hidden in one corner of the rafters, too. A bear chair is next to the fireplace, and Bruiser and Killer advertise their criminal craft fair with this poster. Vladimir's collection of ceramic unicorns is also displayed next to a painting of some of the unicorns. A flyer congratulates Rapunzel and Eugene on their wedding, and there are paintings of Maximus and Pascal. Rapunzel has also painted Pascal and lanterns directly onto the ceiling, and a larger mural of Rapunzel and the thugs takes up this one. Rapunzel has also painted a picture of her, Maximus, and Pascal. An outdoor seating area features the same furniture as the interior, as well as a counter overlooking the wooded area. Also in Fantasy Springs, there is a park information location. It's tucked into a stone wall with a tree of pink flowers growing over it. There are water fountains built into a themed stone structure as well. Also, when Fantasy Springs opens this summer, so will the in-park Fantasy Springs Hotel, and guests looking to take home commemorative merchandise will find all of that at Fantasy Springs Gifts, a gift shop inside the hotel that is accessible from the park. Here, cast members wear berry red waistcoats and peplums and golden detailing over white shirts. The gift shop's exterior matches the rest of the hotel with curving golden lines, light teal details, and stone walls. The sign is darker blue with golden filigree, dragonflies, and pink flowers. A fleur-de-lis is on the stone ground in front of the shop. The store has a rounded ceiling with large golden chandeliers, and guests entering are greeted by the Fantasy Springs book. The large blue storybook features a blue bird and pink flowers on the cover. We did see merchandise. If you watched my vlogs, this is on the merchandise that was released for the preview event, if you will. The store features a color scheme of gold, blue, green, and off-white. Gold and green vines are painted on the walls and ceiling. There are metal sculptures of woodland creatures on stanchions and railings, and the store features references to various Walt Disney animated classics, including Alice in Wonderland. There are colorful teacups, a teapot, and a chest full of Try Me treats. Decorative books line the tops of the display cases. An ornate statue of Cinderella's coach sits next to a golden clock. There's a statue of Snow White's wishing well next to a box of gems and an apple under a glass cloche. On the back wall is a mural of Fantasy Springs featuring all three of its lands, Frozen Kingdom, Peter Pan's Neverland, and Rapunzel's Forest. Another mural depicts, behind the cash wrap, depicts a waterfall in front of Eric's castle from The Little Mermaid. Moana can be seen sailing past the island of Te Fiti in the background. The mural also features Bambi and Sorcerer Mickey. There are touches of pink matching the Fantasy Springs flower motif, and box columns feature storybook pages. These, along with the murals, tell the story of the port's magical spring. Other small murals reference various Disney princess films like Mulan, Aladdin, The Princess and the Frog, and Beauty and the Beast. These are framed by golden vines. Of course, there are also references to the three main IPs of the Springs in Frozen, Peter Pan, and Tangled. One shelf is dedicated to Brave-inspired pieces. Another has seashells from The Little Mermaid, and the magic lamp from Aladdin is displayed on a magic carpet. Fantasy Springs will open to the public on June 6th. We do have some previews coming up when I go back to Japan, so stay tuned for more. I know what's really going to matter to many of you at home are not all these previews, but we know this is going to be an insane challenge. We know the fans and the guests at Tokyo Disney Resort are the most passionate, and they will sit out there a day in advance to get access. So obviously the first weekend's going to be crazy, but the reason we're going to be hanging out a little bit throughout the summer is to show you how this is all actually going to work, because it's going to be hard to do this land. You're going to need more than one day just to get access to all four rides, or you're going to need help booking a package, it's going to be very complicated. And so I would stay tuned. Once the land opens and we have more time in it, we'll be able to tell you how to effectively do everything in it. In the meantime, our appetites have been wet with this incredible preview of, I can't wait. I tried not to look at anything. I saw a couple things by accident, and I'm as excited as I've ever been for anything in any park, because OLC always delivers, man. OLC working with Walt Disney Imagineering always delivers, and I'm sure you guys have seen more photos than I have now. I'm sure you will all agree in the comments below. Before we end the show real quick, I want to plug, again, we have a new shirt from Carousel Products at wwnt.shop. We're in transition with the store, so that's a temporary URL for the time being, so be aware of that. But we have released our first ever button down for the Tower Terror. It's in that nice, soft material, super comfortable, and I will warn you again, buy a size up. This material runs a little small, so I usually wear a 2X in these. I'm a 3X on these. 2X on the button-ups or button-downs. I'm a 3X on these specifically. So keep that in mind. Your purchases, of course, go to support everything we do here at WDWNT, and it is a super cool shirt celebrating 30 years of the Tower Terror as well as our Stage 89 event. And yeah, I mean, even all the towers around the world, it's mostly Twilight Zone, 99% Twilight Zone, but there is one little cool reference to the Tokyo DisneySea Tower Terror on there as well. Limited supplies at this time, so be sure to go order as soon as you can. I will also note we're going to be selling some of the souvenirs from Stage 89 specifically on that shop very soon. Not as of recording, but I'll keep you guys in the know if you want any of those lithographs or magnets from the event. They will go on there very, very soon. So we'll let you know when they do. For the absolute latest on these stories and all that didn't make it into today's show, be sure to check WDWNT.com and follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. You can support the entire team behind this show and others by joining the WDWNT Interglobe Society at patreon.com/WDWNT. Get access to exclusive content, discounted show and event tickets, and more. A special shout out to all of our WIGS members watching who make this show happen 3 times a week. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corliss saying, enjoy the rest of your today. Have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.